Welcome, everybody. Here we are, March. Here we go. So, yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit here about Soup of the Month, which is this kind of channeled insight weaving across the timelines. And I do want to call upon the celestial bodies and the rishis to be here as we hopefully traverse time and space a little bit. And then we will also have a slide, which is just a snapshot of some of the things that are going on this month. So I think a lot of you are feeling the energy. And I know that if you study Western astrology, you will see there's a lot going on with the outer planets. What we look at with non-dual astrology is we're looking at Vedic astrology. So we see the same things. It just comes through in a slightly different way, but it's all our collective evolutionary journey. And I think that I want to speak first to the fact that a lot of people have been feeling really challenged in terms of energy levels recently. Mars has been retrograding, and luckily, by the time you listen to this, we have at least movement from Mars, even though it's not in an ideal placement. It's still not going to yield its full results. The reason I started a kind of crazy way was because it's just like it's relentless at the moment. So uh, I noticed that a lot of us were going into some sort of process again just a few days ago, and yes, the sun has just met Saturn. It's not met Saturn fully, but it's in Aquarius with Saturn right now. And yeah, this can be a really painful karmic time for people, especially with what is going on. So I was laughing because we had this, at least Mars is moving, and now Saturn is like killing our egos, which is a good thing, right? But this feeling where we're feeling like, why can I not progress? Why can I not move forward? There are more cosmic mechanisms to really slow us down, to maximize our identity crisis at the moment. And that's what many people are feeling. So, yeah, a few days ago, when Sun came into Aquarius to meet Saturn, how we might look at this is starving. Saturn is starving the Sun. Okay. And in Lajita when we have this sort of placement, Saturn's the prison. Saturn is time. Saturn is that which we don't want to do. It's a painful childhood trauma as well. And I think a lot of people are getting reviews of that, the ouch moments, a lot of flashbacks of things and realizing the hold of many things still within the unconscious. Okay. And yeah, so we that's what's happening at the moment, but it's happening in Aquarius. If we didn't know what's coming, or at least an inkling of what's coming, this could be terrifying. But I think it's again, there's this process of stripping away the old idea of identity that has been relentless via different planets doing different things. It's now Sun is being stifled by Saturn. And I feel that this is a really good thing. It's sitting in Aquarius, and Aquarius is wanting new communities. Aquarians can be quite detached. We're really looking at having more horizontally organized communities. And so, if we do need to work on our egos, our desires for singular attention, these sorts of things. And when our ego energies are low, because our sun, our natural luminary, is dwindling a little bit, that can serve to help us to clear from old wounds that give us that fragmented, overbearing ego. Okay. So, in terms of what's coming, which you may have seen some of my transmissions, we're going to have a lot of rebellion, a lot of shift, a lot of big things coming from very, very soon, like the end of this month. It's going to start to kick in. We have this mechanism that's starting now, and this is going to be going until mid-month. And then we get a little bit of respite as the sun goes into Saturn, goes into Pisces, and then we can connect again with, oh yeah, I do have some divine nature. I am intuitive. But at the moment, I think we have to examine who am I? And to also look at the new world we want to have, but to realize that a new world, a new earth is not about a bunch of egos. Okay. So everybody, the beautiful thing is everybody's going to have a sense of this. And there is this painful energy that happens when Saturn and Sun conjunct that can bring this really childhood level of pain and these little flashes of unprocessed material up to the front. So this is a really good time to just do that clearing, let this rise to the surface. I also want to just mention that we've had these celestial insights recently to start to run some training in how to become a daykeeper across these three astrological systems that we use in non-dual astrology. And we are going to begin that just after equinox at the beginning of the next galactic spin, which begins on the 25th of March. So if you would like to understand how to actually be aligned with natural time, not just through one system, but through three, through a series of trainings, plus some unique tools that have just been given to us to help you to navigate the timelines, is beginning very soon. And this just really came through again through these timelines. And actually, one of the gifts of this was that Saturn is the Lord of karma and the Lord of time. It was actually just as Saturn and Sun started to meet in Aquarius that the cosmic intel that we had to run this training really landed. And so I do want to say that there are gifts that can come from the timelines. There are things that can ripen and mature. And what better thing to do if you want to honor Saturn, you want to honor actually your own Dharma, than to see how you fit in your own ecosystem and understand your own multidimensionality and understand how time and space work a little bit better. Because for the new earth, we need people who can find the true groove rather than the ego groove. We need people who can actually create stability by knowing where they're supposed to go. And when people are still actually running from false programs that are all actually based around wounding and karma, we can't really have new earth. Okay, so this is just breaking news. So we really invite you to come. There are different levels of journey you can join us with because some people may have limitations. So there are little baby trainings and there are larger journeys that you can do with this. And then it's part of an even larger training. And we're just following orders, okay? But it's quite exciting. We've had to put everything to the side because we've realized how important this is. Duh, duh, duh. So now this is why we go to the end of the month. And we will start our journey then. And of course, we've got equinox. So that's coming. And so in the Gregorian Western way of looking at things, well, not even the Gregorian way, but the Western way of looking at astrology, we are coming into the new year. Okay. Also, so the 25th, we come into a new galactic spin in the dream spell calendar. But on top of this, on the 29th, we have the solar eclipse. We basically have the Saturn-Rahu conjunction beginning, Saturn and Rahu stationing together. And this is where the big change-making karmic time that we're in, where Donald Trump's really doing his best to make it all happen, it's all coming to the surface, okay? So from the 29th of March to the 29th of May, it's like all the change energy is going to hit in. And depending if you study Western astrology or not, you'll see that then from June, July onwards, we also have the slower planets, the more outer planets, doing a lot as well. So yeah, it's on, and it's on soon. This is what I'm going to say. And this is why a lot of people are feeling lost, massive shifts. It's almost like for some of us, it's like eclipse season has already started and we're having to make about turns on certain things, realizing this is not what chapter I'm going to be coming into. I am doing something different, and a lot of endings right now. And that's not even at its highest degree of craziness because we only come into eclipse season officially in mid-March. So we're already under the eclipse shadow, but all these things are starting to shake things up, make us question who we are, what we're supposed to be doing. And then this set of eclipses, because it's the completion of the Virgo Pisces axis in terms of Vedic astrology, this Who am I spiritually? Who do I turn up at as work? All of these things. We're in the final part of that journey. And then from basically April onwards, but maybe more May, we're going to go into, okay, new communities, societies, visionary, pioneering energy, leadership challenges. What is leadership? Examining the ego, examining all of these things. So we're going to go into this whole karmic shift around what does a new society look like, okay? And what does new leadership look like? So it's all up. It's all coming up. And it is going to be a hugely transformative time. Astrologers are saying, we have not had something like this for 12,000 years. So, whatever you're feeling, just go with it. Surrender is the most important thing. We have to just understand that if we try to cling to a fictitious facade of being something, and a certain way of a world being, that we have to show up that way, we're going to get stuck and lost, because what's coming is something you cannot preempt. Could anybody really preempt COVID time? Nobody knew exactly how it was going to play out. People knew something was coming. This is the same. So we're being asked, release any heavy weights, release anything that feels stagnant, because we have to look at these master narratives, as they call them in post-colonial theory. But master narratives means nobody's really the master, but these constructs that have been part of our belief systems that are not truth. And if we're clinging to an ideal of an identity within that, we are going to come into troublesome times, because as things shift, our role and the relevance of things is going to find it's standing on a false bottom. Okay. So I really, really recommend that if you feel like you don't know who you are, give yourself a big pat on the back, because that's really a good thing right now. And just to know that the medicine is in the not knowing, and the being slowed down, and the ego pummeling. And it's all there to help us really, really shift out of this. So it's going to start happening really quickly. Here we are, March, theoretically, the astrological beginning of the year, and also everything else in between: Galactic New Year, eclipse, Rahu, Saturn conjuncting. And the last time we had a Rahu Saturn conjuncting like this was 1968, where it was also in Pisces, and this is where we had wide-scale rebellion. Okay, and a lot of this was around inequality, and we're all feeling it. People are feeling it, this 1%, and looking at racial injustice and gender misrepresentations, inequalities, everything across the board. But there's a sense that there's going to be even a metaphysical reclamation that's coming through as this new galactic frequency is coming in. And a message that came through in early January linked to this time when I was doing some divination was that there's a new dragon energy coming right as the new dragon wave spell comes. So as part of our journey, we are going to be tuning in with that. And of course, we have dragon energy anyway within the Chinese year we're in. But there's something on a metaphysical level that's coming from the celestial realms, from the waters, and from our multidimensional consciousness to activate through. And yeah, it's going to be phenomenal. And if you know that it's coming, then you can just be with it, okay? And actually, so many things that we have been waiting for in our communities, in our mystical status, in all these ways of being that we often have to censor in public, these things are coming. The ability to be in transmission states, to communicate telepathically, all of these things, they're rising, okay? So my advice is, don't cling to the vertical power structures right now. Seek connection with the horizontal networks, the grids, the mycelium sort of multidimensional strands, because this is actually where we're working from the heart rather than these vertical skyscrapers that can topple, okay? There's a fortification going on across the grid. And this is a very pleasing, calming, non-conceptual energy. And the more you learn to tap into that, the more you're actually going to find your place and find the unconditional, altruistic, compassion energy that resides in there. Okay, so enjoy the little slide, which has the little dates on it. And also, yeah, please do get in touch if you would like to journey with us. We will be giving this training in different layers. But if you want to start with this new dragon energy, then 25th of March is the day. We also are going to have a transmission on the 8th of March to really bring through the non-dual astrology strands, so that we're also honoring the ancient systems before we open with the galactic portal. Okay, and that felt very important because it's not just about, oh, here's a really multidimensional woo-woo astrology. It's actually about honoring the ancient templates from which that has also been born. Okay, so I hope to see you all soon. Please do like, subscribe, and share as we grow this little school and this little channel. And happy March, everybody. Ciao, ciao. So now we come into March. And, March, luckily, the beginning of March is not so crazy, okay? We do start, halfway through, we have the lunar eclipse. And we do start with a kind of nice, refined, seeing the bigger picture energy. And then we're actually going to come into a new galactic spin late in March as well, which is amazing because as we are actually hitting astrological new year, equinox, eclipses, Saturn Rahu conjuncting, this is March. It's massive, especially the later part of March. It is like bang, 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 bang. So all of this stagnant energy, this kind of swimming pool of voidness, that is going to give way to this massive transformation. If we look at the trasenas that we have so these are the Mayan calendar cycles, we're going from Achmak early on in the month, which is all about forgiveness. So there's another bout of working through heavy karma. Then it's Toch. Toch is all about giving offerings. And it also has an energy of needing to atone, to pay back, not to just take. This coding that is so colonial where people just want stuff and they don't give. So yeah, so it would be a good time mid-month as we come into the lunar eclipse to go out to the earth and to go to sacred sites or make ceremonies, do pujas. This is going to be really important. And to do your work, because paying it forward, we're coming into a time where the outmoded patriarchal structures, they are going to start to collapse. And the best thing that you can do is to try to find your own feminine masculine balance within and to be receptive, to give to Mother Earth, to do these things. And then everything's going to start. Okay. So I've summarized the energy of the month as self-consumed spirituality or general altruism. This is the activation of the sacred activist. And Saturn's going into Pisces. So Pisces is quite dreamy. It is multidimensional. It has a connection in with all that is, and also the ending of cycles to come into new cycles. And all of this Rahu energy, which has been sitting in Pisces, which has been about, so there's been quite a lot of crazy spiritual stuff going on. Saturn, a lot of the karma around spirituality, the hard work that's needed to apply oneself. Dear brother Neil Davis, who is a Sangoma from South Africa, said recently, as he was taught by the Dogons, spirituality is not easy. Spirituality is hard work, real spirituality. So Saturn, the beacon of hard work and sacrifice and karma and actually paying your dues, is coming into Pisces. And this is where, if we really apply ourselves, because we've got such a lot of energy in Aquarius and Pisces this year, we can make new systems possible. We have the stars behind us, but we have to get the value system right, okay? And this is why I've made some transmissions, which you can find on my YouTube channel, about this concept of sacred activism. And this is another reason why I wrote the book Dakini Weaving, which is about helping us to understand what we've already got in our toolkit and how this epoch is going to unfold. So yeah, it's big times.